Our Congress passed the law recognizing Juneteenth, June 19th, as a federal holiday. It passed through the Senate, unanimous vote, and it passed with a majority vote through the House.
My reaction was disbelief. I couldn't believe it. It was very quiet because I hadn't heard about it really up until this day.
My first reaction was, wow. Then my next reaction was, sort of hopeful.
I was excited because this is a milestone in our history.
Probably overjoyed is where my final emotion is at this point.
Juneteenth being federally recognized shows that this country not just cares about some of its people, but all of us.
It opens up conversations that we need to be having around marginalized groups of people and making sure that we can have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all.
We need to embrace this day.
That's a big day in our country, I think, of continuing to value our diversity and continue to move toward diversity, not dividing us, but strengthening us by seeking to understand everyone.
Juneteenth represents a stake in the history of America.
There were enslaved people who didn't know they had already been declared free.
And so Juneteenth is when the last group of people who were slaves in this country found out that the war had been won.
There was a significant gap in between the abolition of slavery to that information actually reaching some portions of the country.
So here we are after the Emancipation Proclamation. 2 years later, the message finally lands in Texas.
And they were free. And so it is that last getting across the finish line for people who were born into slavery to realize that they had the hope and the opportunity to chart their own path because they were no longer considered someone's property.
To me, you can't have Juneteenth without having the discussion around why we have Juneteenth and the importance of it.
Hopefully it gives opportunity for some empathy. Understanding where people haven't always had the same opportunities.
I'm open. I want us to be able to have good dialogue, to be able to better understand every culture that's represented across our country.
I think this is a huge opportunity for all of us to grow and to get out of our own comfort zone.
You have to internalize it and ask yourself, what does it mean for you? You don't have to be Black to celebrate Juneteenth. You don't have to be a person of color to appreciate it. You just have to be a person that is open to wanting to understand what makes America so great.